we are showing this to you live. We have not seen this, but we have been told by police that nothing that you're watching right now will be, I mean, obviously it's upsetting, but we're not going to be seeing anything graphic. And we've turned the volume down because there's some profanities.
Now, you heard Jimmy Schwab tell us how close the officers were when they got the initial call. And you got to see that. They picked it up right from getting the call, rushing over there less than a minute later. You just saw that officer, that is either Alex Dugan or Patrick Morton, run up to the corner, bailed right out of the car, got up to the corner, and started firing. You saw the man in the red hooded sweatshirt who was described as the shooter just about 15 seconds ago in that video come out the door, and I'm sure he made some type of command to him. And the police chief told us that there were shots fired in the officer's direction. That is why this officer unloaded on him. The first officer's body cam was the more telling because you actually got to see for a few seconds there the suspect in the red hooded sweatshirt come out, turn, and then we couldn't really see him fire at officers, but police say he was firing at them. And you saw the first officer really unloading. The police chief detailing here that what we'd be able to see would be very, very limited because the officers had to take cover, as we've seen here. Again, audio turned down because there's a lot of bad language being used, and now they're going to bring the lights back up and talk. So let's listen to what they have to say after showing both of the officers' videos. Okay, so what the police chief described and what the video just showed that you just looked at from both officers' body cams was a 6:05 emergency call. Somebody at a Kroger store with a gun shooting. Luckily, there were two police officers in the neighborhood very close by working an overtime detail on violent crime. They got to witness that firsthand. Quick response. You saw the entire duration of the trip over. Jumped out. The first officer's body cam, as we saw, he came up, saw this guy come right out the front entrance, as police described, turned toward them. Police say he was firing at them. We could not see that part, but you certainly saw that first officer then unload on the suspect.
Let's get back to that breaking news we brought you at the top of this hour about 4 burglary suspects who were fired at, and it caused some precincts where people were voting to shut down right near PRP High School and Greenwood Elementary School. My co-anchor John Boel joining us live from the scene. He's been talking with officials to see what's been going on there. John?
Yeah, Shannon, I want to show you how close all of this came together. Over my left shoulder right here is where people are coming and going, voting at one of the 3 precincts here at PRP High School. Now follow me here to the right around the corner of the building here on the west side. Right around that corner right there is where all of this came to an end with the apprehension of 2 of the 4 suspects. In fact, a couple of them were just in the vehicles here a few minutes ago. We have some video to show you. They just left the scene here. Now let me take you through how this whole thing came together. Police got a call of an attempted robbery at Sylvania Park. One of the witnesses to that robbery following these 4 armed suspects from it, calling police, getting shot at by the 4 suspects as they're trying to shake this guy who's following them, reporting their position. Police swoop in. They join into the chase. These 4 suspects dump the car in a street just to the west of PRP High School, get out, climb the fence, and run for it. Cops tackle 2 of them on the west side and catch up with the other 2 on the east side here. And so we talked to the police and to the poll worker here about the lockdown end of this. And here's what they had to say about how all that went down.
Due to a lot of incidents involving schools, we've become pretty good at coordinating with them and putting them on lockdown when things are not safe. With this incident, we weren't sure what we had, so we went ahead and made sure they were on lockdown, even though it was just the voting. You know, there wasn't any students here other than some students on the back field, but we put them on lockdown just to make sure that they were safe.
There was shooters in this area, so that's when they called downtown and said that we were on lockdown and for us to get in a safe place.
So what'd you do?
We stayed in the room where we were because everything around us was locked, and they locked the doors that came into the room where they voted.
How many people were voting at the time?
One lady, and she had 2 children with her.
So, police will only tell me they recovered weapons. Nobody got shot. There was obviously a dangerous situation here, and I'm going to get more into that coming up here at 6 o'clock. But for right now, the most important thing for the people coming and going who are voting out here is that by judge's order, judge signed off on the extension of voting hours here at PRP High School. There are 2 precincts at PRP, 1 at the nearby elementary school. They're going to extend voting here a half hour just to be safe, even though, as you heard from the poll worker, there are only a couple of people inside.
The record for the wettest Oaks on record, 1.4 inches of rainfall. Listening to Tawana and Brian's forecast sounds like we're going to knock that thing out of the park here today.
One of the other anchors just whispered, I feel sorry for you. If you look at how soaked I am. My feet, well, my record is, you can only get so saturated. I'm there.
You're all the way through?
With a poncho, all
I'm
the way
waiting for
lower half of my body.
your blue suit to start to bleed onto your white shirt.
My goodness, it's going to bleed. You're right. The
yeah.
colors are going to bleed. We're going to find out how good of a suit this is. Let me tell you something. It is not that good of a suit.
And hopefully we'll see some dry time coming up sometime soon.
Yeah, okay, the horses continue to move on the track like it is nothing. The place is packed. You see all the tarps behind us here. All these people have come like they always do every Oaks and put down, claim their spot, but they are long gone, man.
Yeah, we need to get a check of the forecast now.
We're getting rainfall, I would say a good quarter to near a half inch an hour right now, so that's what we need to watch out for the next few hours.
Yep, yeah. Waders, not nice dress shoes today. Trust me, I know.
Yes.
All right, I got to get you caught up on the big news story here of the day at Churchill Downs. Obviously, could we have another defection, another scratch? Heichel after Omaha Beach. Yeah, the word came out yesterday. You saw it. Still a chance we could be down to 19 for Derby 145. Heichel is listed as questionable to make it to the starting gate. Here's why.
He's off left front, and it's a foot. He's got an abscess, and we have the shoe off, and we're soaking in yesterday and today. We didn't train this morning.
Team said yesterday they were putting the shoe back on this morning, and they were going to take him for a spin out on the track, which is what they did. Then they're going to make a ruling, talk about it, see if his action is affected at all by his abscess on his foot, and then they're going to either scratch or not by 9 a.m. There are no other horses on the also eligible list, so that would knock the field down to 19, which, by the way, is the average Derby field size has been 19 since 2000. So, and we just heard Mark Cassidy on the backside, trainer of War Will, say they've been told that if they have another defection, they're going to slide everybody out one spot, so the one gate will be unoccupied, which is good news for those inside horses because, as we all know, if you're standing there, the rail actually comes out into your path. You got to go out and around, so that'd be good news for them.
Hey, we're doing handicapping of some of the Derby contenders as well. War of Will, you spoke to earlier in the one post, at least for now, unless Heichel has to scratch, that could be the big news.
Yeah, Mark Cassidy, his trainer, not at all depressed, as we spoke to him earlier on Sunrise this morning. He loves the one. He's going to gun it. He thinks he's going to get the lead, and his great quote is, if we don't break well, it's on to the Preakness, because the race is over if you don't break out of the one in the Kentucky Derby.
Only on your official Derby station, Wave 3 News.
Sun's not blazing yet, trying to come out, but we're going to get a blazing pace. In the running of the Kentucky Oaks today, 4 or 5 speedball fillies, followed up by a couple of deep clones. There's going to be a classic day. Welcome in to our oceanfront estate we have here. Right, I just noticed our new neighbor here, Jerry Bailey and Randy Moss, right next door to us. Welcome in here.
Oh, yes, there
as
they
Oaks
are.
Day coverage continues, I'm John Boel.
And I'm Shannon Kogan.
This is Wave 3 News.
A grandson charged with killing his own grandfather with a hatchet. Police find the suspect just walking down the street, bloody, with the weapon still in hand. Neighbors heard the cries for help coming from the suspect's father, trying to get help for his dad. It all went down on Tex Avenue in Fairdale about 1 this morning. Wave 3 News reporter Natalia Martinez spoke to the family today. They had a message for those watching the story.
Natalia Martinez, Wave 3 News.
Well, now to another big story here. The investigation into a deadly natural gas explosion continues out in Lincoln County. Look at the crater right there. 1 person was killed, 5 others injured. Investigators say everybody is now accounted for, and now the focus turns to what caused the explosion. Wave 3 News reporter Sarah Revest is live in Lincoln County with the very latest.
Sarah Revest, Wave 3 News.
Wow, what an observation. Nothing but red dirt left like Mars. Well, new at 6-year Governor Matt Bevin says he does not plan to visit the site of the deadly explosion in Lincoln County.
At this moment, I don't. There's nothing I can do to help them in that situation. We had 1 person killed, 5 people injured. The fire's out. It's under control.
That comment made during a news conference outside the governor's mansion this morning. Bevin went on to call the explosion tragic and heartbreaking. That explosion was so powerful, it showed up on our radar. Chief meteorologist Kevin Harden was here early this morning watching it all unfold last night.